Hello everyone, it is day 8 of my 21-day water fast. I'm smashing it. I feel absolutely amazing. It's been a great week. Weighed in this morning. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. But now that I've reached 7 days and I'm into day 8, I just wanted to talk a little bit to my 4 brilliant subscribers and to anyone else that comes across this video by chance. Just a little bit about why I've ended up in this place and that water fasting has become my saving grace, really. So I'm somebody that's water fasted for a long time. Intermittent fasting, 7-day fast, 3-day fast, 24-hour, 10-day fast, but I've never gone above 10 days. And I'd say the events that have happened over the last few years have led me to go, I need to do something. I need to have a whole shift and shake up and reset. So that's why I'm here today. But the reasons being are, it starts all from when I was younger, even a child in sort of primary school or kindergarten. Struggled with social problems, struggled with gauging people's emotions, sensitivity to noise, just hypersensitivity to fabric textures, and really struggled with that. But due to quite a busy and eventful, I'll say, childhood, it wasn't really something that I focused on. I just got through it. But I also suffered with sort of chronic, what people would call at the time, growing pains, really badly. And that was just my kind of norm. But generally, it was quite normal. But I'd say my real issues started for me when I turned 12 and my menstrual cycle began. So there's probably so many women out there, there's so many of you that may be in a similar situation to me, that they recognise that the symptoms are related to the cycle that we're in. Obviously the 4 stages, the mood changes that come with that. But for me, once I went to the doctor with my mum and discussed this at about 12 years old, I was told that I was a manic depressive. So I sort of had that label on me for a long time and eventually was diagnosed with a misdiagnosis of bipolar type 2, which has caused me lots of problems because I don't know where you all are if you're watching, but here in the UK, if you don't want to take medication that they're advising you to take, they will just call you non-compliant and say there's a medication anxiety there, and actually you just know yourself if something's not working. That's been the case for me for the last 20 years. So yeah, along with having the chronic period pains and the mood changes, that seemed to just worsen once I went to university. It was something I'd really struggled with. I thought my symptoms were kind of normal. I thought every woman experienced this. Didn't realise that wasn't true when I was curled up in the fetal position at uni, and a friend said to me, I think you might have endometriosis, and that then led to a 4/5 year journey of getting diagnosed with that. I underwent 2 laparoscopies, and I'd been working at this point as a gynae nurse. The irony of the situation is that I was a gynae nurse and I'd never heard of endometriosis. It wasn't talked about. But all I could go off when I started trying to get support and answers with my own gynae issues was that when we had women that came in and were desperate for pain relief and they couldn't find anything wrong, they were labelled as opiate addicts and laughed at. And I really struggled with that, and actually eventually did leave nursing because of my experiences with people being so horrible that I just didn't want to be in that energy anymore. I went to see a gynae doctor who was a doctor I'd worked with for 2 years and said to him, please help me. You know, I've been going through this for a long time. I'd written down my cycle, all my symptoms. I'd given him 3 months worth of this is what I'm going through. And he asked the health assistant to leave the room, who I also knew because of working there, and then asked me if I'd been sexually abused as a child. So that's how seriously my physical pain was taken. He did give me a laparoscopy. He said that was to quell my concerns, and it wasn't really for any benefit. Found nothing, and I was sent away with a diagnosis of IBS. Fast forward to a couple of years later, I fought to see another specialist, had a laparoscopy, and was woken up again and told they'd found nothing. They were expecting to find extensive endometriosis, and there was nothing there. And then a year later, in my post checkup, whatever thing it is when they bring you in 12 months later, I was then told they started talking about the endometriosis that they'd found in my pelvis. So I don't understand still to this day why they didn't tell me. My only assumption would be that they didn't see it at the time, and when they look back at the pictures of my organs, they then realised that it was there. I was given the Mirena coil to manage my symptoms and sort of sent away with very little follow-up, and just kept going back to the doctors for years and years, having what did I have? They thought I had rheumatoid arthritis. I had tests for inflammation. They thought I had MS, and that was after sort of 2 years. And I then went to my GP and said, I can't cope with this anymore. Ever since I've had this coil put in, I've had this pressure in my ear, and it was probably, I think it was about 4 years again, during which time I was laughed at and grinned at while being asked, do you think you have a brain tumour, Holly? And in actual fact, I did have a brain tumour, and I do have a brain tumour. It's benign as far as we're aware, but it's in exactly the place that I said I thought it was, because of the increased pressure that I was having in this left ear. I was then gaslit about that when I went in and said, please explain to me how have I got this, and what do I do? And you know, I'm a nurse, so we're the worst for thinking the worst. But we're also really good at masking pain, and I think I just wasn't taken seriously because I'm a laughy, jokey, you know, half glass half full kind of person. So yeah, it was really, really difficult. Still convinced that was related to the Mirena coil being fitted. So ultimately had the Mirena coil out, and my symptoms have just slowly crept back with the endometriosis to the point where I was struggling to cope with it. And what they've now diagnosed as PMDD was ruining my life as well. To the point where it seemed like I was falling into a pit of despair, and I just was struggling to find hope. So I ended up going to see another gynae specialist at a different place, different hospital, and saying, you know, please help me, I can't cope with this anymore. I'm in physical pain all the time, I'm in mental anguish all the time. And he recommended that I had the Prostat injection. And I had discussed with him that I shouldn't have hormones because I have a brain tumour that's likely hormone reactive, because all my symptoms of the tumour seem to really dissipate a lot since I had the Mirena coil out. I told the doctor or the specialist that I hadn't researched this medication, Prostat, because every time I spoke to anyone about my concerns afterwards, if I had a bad reaction, they would then say, it's your anxiety, or, you know, basically, without saying it, you're a hysterical woman, get a grip. So yeah, I had the Prostat. I was told the symptoms would be, you know, menopause, and I said, I do react to everything. I'm really, really sensitive to medications. You know, it'll be fine, we'll see in a few weeks. I asked about hormonal replacements that are natural because I can't use hormones. Yeah, we'll get to all that. Let's just see how you go. And the plan was to then remove my ovaries. And the reaction I had to this medication was so bad, I thought I was going to die. I spent 3 days in and out of A&E. I just was in so much physical pain, and mentally, probably the lowest I've ever been in my life. So that was it for me. I felt like I'd reached rock bottom physically, and although I spent the last year getting off about 3.5 stone, I just thought, I need to change my life. I need to start putting healthy things inside my body and thinking about how to relax and be calm. I've got 2 jobs, I run a business and I work full time, and it's a lot. So starting this fast has been the best thing I could have ever done. That's a bit of a roundup of, it's a bit of a long video actually, it's a bit of a roundup of why I'm here and where I've come from and how I've got to this point where I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. I've always wanted to do a 21-day water fast, but my lack of willpower when it comes to just staying on water has always held me back, and really sort of ruined my efforts because I've not just done it properly from the start. So I've been on water now I'm on day 8, so the full 8 days. I'm not that fussed. I do miss taste a bit. I think, oh, I really would like to taste anything. Just give me anything, but it's not worth it because I need my body to heal, and I know it's healing. Part of this journey, I think, is not just believing something, but knowing And for me, I know this is working. I'm speaking to my cells, I'm meditating, I'm manifesting, my head's clearer than it's ever been. I have no mental health. Well, we all have mental health, but I have no ups and downs. I'm so balanced, I'm so calm, I'm relaxed. Nothing's too much of a problem. And yeah, for the first time in years, I'm feeling like myself, whatever that means. I'll get to the good bit now. I've made you wait for 10 minutes listening to me waffle on. So I started this fast last Sunday, we're on day 8, so just over a week ago, at 81.5 kilograms. So that was 12 stone, 11 pounds if you use that one. After the full 7 days, so I weighed first thing this morning, so I always count it like a days before. After 7 days, I'm now weighing 74.3 kilograms, which is 11 stone 12, which is ironic because I was 12.11 and now I'm 11.12. So it's gone full circle. 13 pounds, 12 pounds? Can't figure it out. 13 pounds. So many kilograms, around 6 kilograms maybe. But yeah, 13 pounds is amazing for a week's fasting. Never had such a great outcome from it. So I'm just going to keep plowing on. I don't think things are going to change much more from here. It's just going to be more of a mental battle to try and ignore food, although I'm cooking for everyone and that's sort of getting me through because it's the process. But yeah, really excited. I know there's a few of you been commenting, you're starting fasts now or you're a few days in as well. Please follow along with me. I'll come along to your channel if you're vlogging as well and follow along, and let's all just share good energy between each other and get through this to benefit ourselves. We deserve this small amount of sacrifice for a much more positive future. So I'm really excited to hear about your stories, and I will see you guys tomorrow.